Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's What to Expect from a Hybrid Conference webinar, in which we will discuss the 19th Annual Ohio Problem Gambling Conference. My name is Corey Brown. I am the Program Manager with Problem Gambling Network of Ohio and coordinator of the Ohio Problem Gambling Conference. I also have Cheyenne Roller on the webinar, who is the Communications Coordinator with Problem Gambling Network of Ohio. Cheyenne handles all of the CEUs and certificates for the conference. So she will be here to provide support. Mike Bazzelli, Associate Director of Problem Gambling Network of Ohio, is here as an attendee, just in case we miss anything as well. Definitely excited for this year's conference, but want to provide a space for all of those who are interested to hear more about what to expect at this year's conference, and also a space for those who have questions that need answered in reference to the conference. From what has taken place 2 years ago for our last all in-person conference versus what we did last year with a month-long virtual conference, and kind of taking the best of those two and combining them into one conference this year. Definitely some changes, so we want to keep everyone up to date with not only those changes logistically, but also what to expect content wise. So as previously alluded to, we will have a hybrid conference that will take place as a virtual pre-conference Tuesday, January 25th and Thursday, January 27th. The days are set to take place from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and it will take place virtually on Zoom. The main conference will be in person at Nationwide Hotel and Conference Center in Lewis Center, Ohio, on Thursday, February 24th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. is when content will be delivered. The pre-conference will consist of 1 hour long lecture style presentations. These presentations will be delivered via Zoom webinar. Generally, these presentations take on a lecture-based format using slides with limited engagement opportunities, but there are engagement opportunities through chat and polls. The theme of the pre-conference is the intersection of gambling and other behavioral health concerns. The main conference will consist of a couple of keynotes, a morning and an afternoon keynote, but the bulk of the main conference will be 2 hour long workshops that are geared towards specific sectors of the continuum of care, in which attendees will be able to apply these learned skills that are facilitated by experts in the field. We also have some networking opportunities that we have really lacked with the pandemic and unable to meet in person. So really great opportunities to network with folks, specifically during the lunch hour. I know at conferences in years past, there have been panels and other content delivered during the lunch hour, and this year we're being very mindful of folks' time and ensuring that you have ample time for a break during lunch, but also time to network with other individuals during the lunch hour. So the pre-conference, the intersection of gambling and other behavioral health concerns. This is our agenda. On Tuesday, January 25th, we will hear from Dr. Lori Rugel, who will discuss co-occurring opioid use disorder with problem gambling. That presentation will go from 10:30 a.m. to noon. From noon to 1, our lunch presentation will be delivered by Alessandro Ciaffancini and Beth Burson from Origo Branding, in which they'll discuss both the Before You Bet campaign and the Change the Game Ohio campaign, specifically the micro campaigns that deal with special populations. At 1 o'clock until 2:30, we will have Stacy Frohnapple-Hassan from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services talking about the impact of problem gambling and suicidal crisis care, and touch on the national rollout of 988. That takes care of day one of the pre-conference. Day two, Thursday, January 27th, from 10:30 until noon, we will hear from Dr. Heather Chapman and Dr. Matthew Arias, who is a postdoctoral fellow at the Cleveland VA under Dr. Chapman. Heather will be discussing key ingredients for successful treatment engagement, some of that being very much related to telehealth and motivational interviewing in telehealth settings. From noon to 1, we will hear from Josh Grubbs from Bowling Green State University, who also was a postdoctoral fellow with Dr. Heather Chapman at the Cleveland VA. And Josh will be discussing gambling and PTSD. And then from 1 o'clock to 2:30, we will hear from Judge Cheryl Moss and Judge Scott Frederick to talk about the future of gambling treatment diversion in Ohio. For that session, we are seeking CLEs, continuing legal education. So this is kind of just a new update from us. We have not yet posted much about that yet. So something to keep in mind for those who may have their Juris Doctorate. So what do you need to attend the pre-conference? If you attended the virtual conference last year, it's going to be ran very similarly. You'll need a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer that's capable of running the Zoom application. And computers are definitely recommended for their ease of use and functionality. And now we'll move on to discussing a bit about the main conference. The main conference is kind of an all aboard approach to get all sectors of Ohio's gambling service system together for the first time in a couple of years in the same room to have great conversation, great networking opportunities, but then also move to these workshops to really focus on developing these skills in an application-based way. So this is the agenda for the main conference. From 8 to 9, we will have registration breakfast and an open GA meeting. From 9 to 9:15, we will have welcome remarks. From 9:15 to 9:45, we will hear from our morning keynote speaker, Brianne Dora-Schwall from Epic Risk Management. Our morning breakout workshop sessions will take place from 10 to noon. Our lunches from 12:15 to 1:15. Our afternoon breakout sessions will then take place from 1:30 to 3:30. We will hear from our afternoon keynote speaker, Martin Leica from Montaigne, from 3:45 to 4:45, and from 4:45 to 5 will be closing remarks. Also, for those who are only attending virtually, our goal is to both live stream and record both the morning keynote and the afternoon keynote. Those will be available on the conference portal at some time. But for those who are unable to come in person, we will be live streaming both the morning and the afternoon keynote sessions. I just want to focus a little bit on some of the content for the breakout workshops, just so folks know a little bit about what to expect. We haven't yet released the agenda in its totality yet. That will be coming within the next week or two. But just to give folks an idea of what to expect, we will have these workshops geared toward prevention, treatment, and operation regulation. So just a couple of the sessions that we will have in the morning will be a prevention session led by Nabil Pervez, Kelly Garza, and Claire Spada that focuses on community coalitions and collaboration. Another prevention session that is led by Daniel Nam and George Hicks that focuses on engaging special populations in prevention. A treatment workshop led by Lou Weigel, discussing conceptualization and treatment. And another treatment workshop that will be led by Mike Rosen and Chris Toole, discussing treating the gambling adjacent. We will also have a continuing operation regulation track. And in the morning, operators and regulators will hear from Scott Anderson and Mylan Karna from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services as they discuss the Ohio model, the history of the gambling service system in Ohio, and really focus on some of the data that the state has. They will also hear from Martin Leica from the Entain Foundation. Martin will be discussing extended safeguards and responsible gambling. Also discuss as we move toward sports betting and mobile sports betting, some additional extended safeguards to be mindful of, and also some safeguards to be mindful of when it comes to cashless payments. Our afternoon breakout workshop sessions are going to take a similar format. We will hear from a prevention workshop from Andrea Hoff from You Thrive Consulting, in which she discusses connecting AOD, alcohol and other drug prevention, and problem gambling prevention. Brianne Dora Schwall, the morning keynote, will be delivering a prevention workshop discussing how to work with colleges and athletes surrounding sports betting. It's a very timely topic, as most of you probably know. Nan Franks will be discussing, doing a treatment workshop discussing finances with clients. And then Stacy Frohnapple-Hassan will be presenting and organizing a general session, so one that is geared toward prevention and treatment professionals discussing screening for problem gambling across the continuum. The operation and regulation track will continue into the afternoon, where individuals engaged in that session will hear from Ken Holt, who is a gambling counselor from Signature Health, graduate of the fellowship program, and one of our trainers for our stage 1 training, in which he will discuss connections between gambling and substance use disorder, mental health, specifically suicidality. And he will also discuss what gambling treatment looks like. This has long been a question that those in operation and regulation have had. And so we're definitely trying to meet the needs of our operators and regulators by providing them with some great training from some great clinicians and great trainers. So we have a guest room block at Nationwide Hotel and Conference Center. The block is for $129 a night plus tax. Reservations must be made by January 23rd to receive that rate. You can find more information about the hotel, including our group code, at pgnohio.org/conference. And Cheyenne has been gracious enough to put that information into the chat. Some questions always come up a little bit about what protocols are being taken right now as far as the pandemic. Having an in-person event definitely brings those questions to the surface. As of now, the hotel has guidelines, the CDC has guidelines, and we will work to follow those guidelines. But just some of the things that are being done to ensure safety that the hotel is doing. Once individuals leave meeting rooms to go to lunch, all those meeting rooms will be sanitized before individuals enter those rooms post-lunch. There are hand sanitizing locations that are placed in high contact areas. There are sanitizing stations in each of the breakout rooms. And then for individuals who may not trust that the hotel is cleaning well enough, there are disinfectant and towels in meeting rooms as well. So for individuals who want to clean their own space. We also have a post-conference sessions every year. We will be offering both treatment and prevention ethics. They take place on different days. These will be virtual sessions. Nan Franks will be delivering the treatment ethics session on Friday, January 28th from 9 a.m. to 12:15, and that carries 3 continuing education units. And then PGNO Executive Director Derek Longmire will be delivering the prevention ethics session on Friday, February 25th, 9 a.m. to 12:15, again, carries 3 continuing education units. So the treatment ethics session will take place the day after the pre-conference. and the prevention ethics session will take place the day after the main conference. These both meet the requirements for renewal that are outlined by the Ohio Chemical Dependency Professionals Board. Yeah, and these are, I think we'll cover this in a minute, but complimentary registration is available for PG&O members, but these sessions are $20 a piece. Speaking of continuing education, the pre-conference carries up to 7.5 continuing education units. We are a preferred provider through the International Gambling Council Certification Board, the Ohio Social Work Counselor and Marriage Family Therapist Board, and the Ohio Chemical Dependency Professionals Board. These hours are also applicable to peer recovery supporters. The main conference, carries 5.75 continuing education units. We are seeking CEUs from the aforementioned boards, as well as the Ohio Board of Nurses and the Ohio State Board of Psychology. Additionally, as I mentioned previously, we are seeking CLEs for Judge Moss's session during the pre-conference as well. This is registration costs. If you want to attend just the pre-conference, the virtual sessions that are taking place on January 25th and 27th, the cost for that registration is $50. Conference registration, which will include the pre-conference admission, so it would be January 25th, 27th, and the in-person main conference on February 24th, is $125 prior to January 2nd, and that price increases to $150 after January 2nd. As alluded to, the post-conference sessions are $20 per session, but complimentary registration for PG&O members. Just as last year, we will have the conference portal available for all registrants. This will include recordings and materials, the program and agenda, speaker bios, a networking directory, and eventually will then also include both recordings of the afternoon and morning keynotes from the main conference. There are additional ways to support the conference. PG&O is a membership-based organization where our member dues go to support our advocacy efforts at the State House. As we know, there's been a lot of movement at the State House here recently in regards to gambling and the expansion of gambling, and in reference to licensing boards that affect our support service system. So our membership is more important than ever. We rely on our members heavily to advocate for on behalf of PG&O. To find more about PG&O membership, you can visit pgnohio.org/connect. And again, Cheyenne has put that link into the chat. We also have sponsorship and advertisement opportunities available. You can visit pgnohio.org/sponsor to view our sponsorship prospectus. Just want to acknowledge a couple of those sponsors right now. As of now, our presenting sponsors are Penn National Gaming, and we also have Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation as an additional sponsor. We are expecting sponsorships from the Ohio Lottery, from Before You Bet and Change the Game Ohio, Jack Entertainment, Hard Rock Casino Cincinnati, MGM Northfield Park, Jack Pocket, Center for Addiction Treatment. We've also have additional support from AGEM, Town Hall 2, Zeph Center, and Mahoning Valley Mental Health and Recovery Board. So it's a lot